Hi everybody, and thanks again for joining today. So, I'm Francesca. I'm currently working at Free2Move. It's a mobility app as a senior graphic designer in the marketing department. I would like to say that this is my first speech, so I'm so thrilled to be here and a bit nervous, but as you can see from this pretty bold statement, I decided to call my speech "We Move People, Design Moves the World." While the topic of today is mobility, but I will give a visual touch. Let's say that I will more focus on design in mobility. Let me shortly introduce myself a bit. So I'm from Italy, or as I like to say and clarify, I'm from Sicily. As you can already understood from my very English accent. By the way, if you need subtitle, I will provide you. Okay. So my background lays in cultural and artistic studies. I started to study at the Academy of Fine Arts in Italy. Before landing the master in design. And honestly, I never thought when I was a child to be a designer, but I found out what was my mission and how I can work with my creativity and how can I put my passion in something that actually can work as a profession. And when I was starting to be even more passionate about design, I questioned to myself what kind of designer I want to be. And as often in time in life, there are very simple moments which define our future by accident. I can clearly say that my groundbreaking moment was when I had the chance to watch a movie during a common lesson at the university. And I would like to show you a short piece of this movie.
Type is saying things to us all the time. Typefaces express a mood, an atmosphere. They give words a certain coloring.
Everywhere you look, you see typefaces. So there's probably one you see more than any other one, and that's Helvetica. You know, there it is. And it sort of just seems to come from nowhere. You know, it seems like air. It seems like gravity.
And it's hard to evaluate it. It's like being asked what you think about off-white paint. It's just there, and it's hard to get your head around something that's that big.
And most people who use Helvetica use it because it's ubiquitous. It's like going to McDonald's instead of thinking about food, because it's there, it's on every street corner, so let's eat crap because it's on the corner.
For me, Helvetica is just this beautiful, timeless thing. And certain things shouldn't be messed with, you know.
Graphic design is the communication framework through which these messages about what the world is now and what we should aspire to, it's the way they reach us. The designer has an enormous responsibility. Those are the people, you know, putting their wires into our heads.
I don't know how many of you already know this movie. This is Helvetica. It's a movie, a documentary movie taken from a design trilogy by Gary Haswit, and with the other movies objectified and urbanized, that looking at the issues and strategies behind urban design. And they spoke about four main topics related to housing, infrastructure, public space, and mobility. And as you can see, there was the contribution from different kind of professionals, from architects to typographers, designers, and writers, and so on. I don't know if you also have this feeling when when you were watching this movie, or you may be wondering why I decided to start showing this video. So, of course, when I was starting to sketch this presentation, I was not sure from where I can start, but I wanted to bring my personal experience to this speech. And this was a really important movie, let's say, for my personal growth. And I would like to grab the last sentence that we just watched by Rick Poynor, that the designer has an enormous responsibility. And here I can say that I found out the answer to my previous question. So what kind of designer I want to be? And I figured out that I want to be a responsible designer, trying to offer the best solution in terms of functionality, accessibility, and of course beauty, because everything that surrounds us has its own shape, colors, reason why to be here, or at least 90%, I guess. But it has to be also catchy and aesthetically attractive. And as functional design, talking about mobility, it has to have even a big impact. Mobility is not just go from A to B, but the importance is how to go from one place to another. And in particular way is you have to find the way that is the most comfortable to you, that reflects and satisfies your needs. That can be the need of a faster car or a cheaper car, or to have a more sustainable way to move. That can be shared vehicles or public transit. So coming to the point of mobility today, so mobility, as all the aspects of our life, is connected with technology, of course. That's why today we can talk about mobility as a service. And mobility as a service provides that kind of flexibility that people requires, because allows people to build their own journey for their own convenience. People have different ways of moving. They have their own habits, and they have, of course, their own preferences. And to answer and satisfy to all of these needs, we have to find a way that that is the best solution for them. Or at least we have to offer different options. And at Free2Move, is that what we do, or we try to do? Because Free2Move is a mobility service platform, it's a mobile app that give you the access and the opportunity to compare different kind of sharing vehicles, from cars, scooters, and bikes, and also ride-hailings. And we also, with a particular attention to on electric vehicles as well, to let people decide on their own what they can, how they want to move. Let me shortly show you some numbers related to Free2Move. This doesn't want to be a sales or the elevator pitch, but it's important to let you understand that our app is used by more than 1 million people around 14 countries around the world. So we have to be translated in 5 languages. And last but not least, as aggregator, we have in only one place, in only one app, different service. To mention a few, here in Berlin we have Car2Go, Drive Now, Emmy, Coop. So I think that all of you already know these brands. And we have more than 70,000 shared vehicles. As you can imagine, we have to deal with this kind of complexity. The complexity of the market, but also the complexity of the world we are speaking to, because we are not talking only to one kind of people or person. So my first duty as a designer is to find, is to make it as simple as I can, and to find a way that is most understandable to everyone. And how? by using a kind of fil rouge, or let's say a visual key, that are recurring in all our creatives, to build and to make our visual communication even more clear, consistent, and even more branded. And as an app, our first visual contact for our users, let's say our business card, is of course the App Store. And here you can already understand clearly that it's a mobile app. There is something related to transportation, to mobility, because you see also the map, you see cars, scooters, you can book a vehicle and so on. But of course it's not simply about Free2Move as an app, but it's something that is related to people. That's why we decided also to show people in different daily situation. And this is connected also about our vision. Our vision that is to deliver a product that is used by millions of people moving around their cities every day. And that's why today I want to talk about a design focus on people, as we do in Free2Move. Why? Because I guess that there is no mobility that works without people. And at Free2Move, every team, from developers to sales or marketers, are focused on people. We put people before products. And to start to show some visual, and because we don't think about user, but we think about people, we love to hear from our users their experiences using our app. We like also to share contests or just give them some tips about car sharing, or some news in real times about strikes or event city related. Another kind of communication that is really direct with our Free2Movers. Let's say there is the CRM channel. There is the first communication from our side to our users, to communicate if there is new offers from specific providers, or if there is a new services in specific countries or cities, or of course to give them the chance to win a phone, or to win ticket to have fun for some specific event in Berlin and so on. But let's move now to another channel that maybe is related to the visual, that are gonna be annoying, because we are talking now about paid advertising, and we are talking about performance marketing. That is my department. So we are talking about acquisition, bookings, retention. I don't know if you, I think that these are common words for you. And I want to show, I'm proud to show you this specific campaign that we did, because these are some of my awesome colleagues. And we built this campaign, the whole campaign in-house. So we organized the photo shoot, we develop all the process creatives, and then the delivery. But of course, we arrived to this kind of visual communication for even paid advertising, because we tested so many different kind of creatives, from illustrations or just putting a real car to go in the picture. And of course, we don't sell car. We are a car sharing provider. So we want to show them people in a common situation in life. And another campaign, we decided to combine us with the picture of us with the voices of our user from the reviews in the app stores. To support all these performance marketing activities, one last thing that I want to show you is our last baby. So it's a out-of-home campaign that is live at the moment. I don't know how many of you already saw these posters or banners in some lines of the U-Bahn or also out there in the street. This is a campaign focused on message that want to combine message and feeling. And we underline this campaign with the hashtag Life's Too Short. People in transit is a kind of advantage for our message. Because by using specific moments, people can relate to. And by showing it right here, right now, the message has a stronger impact. But of course, we wanted to give it a kind of funny touch. So we show, let's say, common people in common situation while you are freezing out, waiting the S-Bahn, and maybe you want to go home. And even worse, if you meet your ex-boyfriend with a new ex-girlfriend in the van. So we want to just create this kind of empathy with people. But of course, it's not in opposition with public transit, not at all, but it wants to be a kind of support or an option for the people. Since people are so complex and the needs are so different, we have to provide them all of the options they can choose from. Because the desire of mobility cannot be satisfied only by one kind of mobility or moving. So that's why I was bringing you to this point. I'm almost done. To talk about our solution for tomorrow. So far, I just spoke about car sharing, so scooters, vehicles, or taxis. But that's where we are today. And this is where we are going now. So I want to show you a sneak peek of our solution for tomorrow that will be even more clear than me. Enjoy it.
Free2Move integrates seamlessly with your life. Our predictive engine identifies your regular travel routines, working even while you're asleep. And our smart notifications alert you when it's time to leave, offering you the best mobility options to arrive at your destination. And no matter how you choose to cruise, we reward you for every kilometer you travel using our on-demand mobility platform. Rain shower? Traffic jam? General strike or other problems? Our smart alerts will let you know what's happening before you get stuck, and even provide alternate routing and modality choices so you can arrive on time despite disruptions. Home, work, your preferred supermarket, or the best coffee in town. With Free2Move, you can save your favorite locations to improve your active travel decisions and to enable our smart engine to make your life even easier. From public transit to kick bikes or even hailed cars, we've got more travel options than ever before. However you need to get home, we've got you covered. Free2Move makes accessing mobility simple. No need to spend time going through multiple registrations. You can sign up for numerous transportation services, cars, bikes, scooters, public transit, and more in one single session. You want choices, and we give them to you. Whether you want to compare route options by price, time, or duration, we've got the perfect match for your priorities. And because our smart engine optimizes across multiple transportation modes, our route planner allows you to complete every journey, from the first to the last mile, the way that you want.
That's it. And if you want to know more, or if you just want to grab a beer in our office, you are welcome. Or if you want to join us, please see our open position of our website. And I want to give thank you all, but a really warm thanks to my awesome colleagues that supported me today and even the day before. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
They did it.
All right. Many of you have been here before. You all know how much we value Q&As. So this is usually the really exciting part of the evening, where you can ask questions. So are there already any questions in the room?
I have a question maybe to you.
You want to ask yourself?
How many of you know? How many of you know Free2Move or have Free2Move? Okay, not my colleagues. Okay.
There's a lot of potential new customers.
Oh yeah.
On the left.
Good.
Yeah, questions.
Hi, thanks again. How do you sustain yourselves? So how do you create an income? Is it based, so for every ride that a user takes, do the companies pay a commission, or how does it work?
I mean, this is a question more related to the app. I'm a designer, so this is something that actually I cannot answer to you, but
Okay.
sorry.
Okay, thank you. Other questions?
Yeah, but
I
can answer.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So always bring your entourage to product, right?
No, we just have different contracts with the different providers, and there are shares on the sign-ups or rights, and it's different with every provider.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so from what I understand, in the end, it's all about the app, right? So which sources of inspiration do you look for when it comes to inspiration for the app? Is it also your partners, or the specific cities that you're in?
You mean visual talking, right? Or what?
Yeah, so...
How can I take inspiration from, or?
Yeah, I guess when you look at the app, there, of course, you're trying to look at the user journey, the user flow, specifically for the app. But I was wondering if there's any other inspiration that where else you get inspiration from in building the app, besides, of course, making user flow as easy as possible and so forth.
So, okay, I have to say that we have two different design themes in our company. So I'm a designer with other 3 guys in the marketing department. And then we have also another design team, but in the product department that is more related to the user experience and user interface. So these are the guys that are working more about the app. Of course, I can answer from my point of view. So we usually take inspiration from the city specific or the country specific that we are talking to. So of course, creatives are different from that one that we produce for Germany than from that ones for Italy or Spain, because people needs or people even culture or habits are different. So we recognize, I can already clearly say that after testing the same 2 different concepts in the same in different countries, we realized that more colorful or more illustrations plus cars worked better, performed better for Spain, but not in Germany, not at all. I mean, I can remember, and I was really frustrated because the best creatives for Germany that performed really well was just a white background with a Drive Now car and the logo pins. That's it. So, yes.
Such a cliche.
Yeah. But if you don't test, you cannot understand. So, and of course, we also check out the other apps that are out there.
Any other questions? Very back.
Thank you so much for your inspiring talk. I saw that you can choose the most convenient travel route, but is there also to choose an option to choose the most sustainable route or the route with the less environmental impact?
Yeah, I mean, you are free to decide it. You are free to.
But is there a tool, like, does it show me which of my...
You mean we have electric vehicles, also bikes, but more electric vehicles. For example, in Spain we have EMOV as a service, so it's this direction.
Okay, but I have to choose myself. I cannot see the footprint,
yourself.
for example, in the app that shows me that this route is better than the other one.
In the app, you have the provider list, so all the service that you can have in the app, and there you can find all the details. If it electric cars, vehicles, or whatever, everything. But this is something that you can check inside the app.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I was wondering the same thing. You know, you add more and more options, which can lead to that you create more and more noise, and how you support users in making the right decision.
So the last
how
video,
to choose the
you are
best.
talking about the last the videos, the video that you saw in the end, right?
I'm talking more about the app, but
so the app, you can click on every vehicles or every pin, logo pin, and see clearly what kind of. But you have to decide on your own.
Okay. Other questions?
Nice speech. Thank you. I just downloaded the app while you were talking, so that's one quad customer right there.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm sure you did some research around, messaging and, what works and what doesn't work. Let's say, what was the difference between the Germans and Italians, for example? Were there any differences of people perceiving the message more positively around this in Germany and that in Italy? Were there any findings around your research?
I mean, because we have the performance marketing manager that, of course, from every 2 weeks we test new creatives. And after the campaigns running like for 2 weeks or longer, they can provide us specific data. And we clearly saw that some performance work better than others.
Is the same campaign running in Italy as well?
The same, not this one we're running every country, but this is just an example. We have so different campaigns, also splitter for booking or engagement or retention, so different channels also, Instagram, Facebook, Google Ads.
Got it, thanks.
Okay, maybe one last question. Okay, good, we only have one left.
Hey Francesca, thanks for your talk. I really like the vision you've been painting, so that resonated with me very well. I was wondering about one thing. So you basically showed this kind of mixing modes for bringing you to the destination, like in the way you prefer, right? And I was wondering, are you also factoring in like public transportation options there, or are you, because in your campaigns you basically like you separated yourself from public, I had the feeling a bit.
No. We are working on it. So in the next step, so our solution for tomorrow, we want to also have public transit in our app. So far we have only cars, scooters, bikes, and taxis, ride-hailing service, but not public. But we are working on it.
Cool. Okay.
So this was the last video was a kind of
sneak peek.
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks.
Okay, thank you so much for giving us this insights.